Hey everybody, it has been a while. So the last time I posted to this page, I was in Costa Rica. I got called out last week by HBCU Lounge. Hey y'all, for not posting to my page, and they're right. I need to be I need to be a better resource. So, in my attempt to be a better resource, I'm committing to uh, posting at least once a week. And this week, I just want to talk about some things that might help you plan your nomad journey. Since I last posted, I have been to Belize, I've been to Brazil, Costa Rica, um, she's Colombia, Panama, and now I am in Peru. And I kind of winged it. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I got tired of people who were supposed to love me and care about me taking me for granted. And I got sick of the culture in the United States as a whole. And so I decided to leave. I just was like, whatever, I'm gone. And I didn't put much planning or thought into it. I kind of just decided that it was time to go. It was just time for a change, and I would figure it out. That's what I've done, and it's been great. I don't regret a moment of it, but hindsight being 2020 vision, there are some things I could have done better. There's some planning that I could have, some pre-planning rather that I could have done to probably make things a little easier on myself, things that I wouldn't have to figure out on the fly. But I'm here to share some of those things with you guys. And like I said, I'll continue to post things at least once a week. Tips, highlights, have tons of footage to share, and I'll get all that organized to put on here. But today I just want to talk about, starting out. Like, we're just going to begin at the beginning, I guess. And a few things that I recommend anybody doing if they plan on traveling for an extended period of time. First thing would be putting as many of your bills, especially if you're keeping your home or apartment or anything like that in the States while you travel, would be to put things on like a seasonal plan. So, for example, I have Comcast Xfinity for my cable provider. They have a seasonal plan option where I pay like around $4 a month. Um, I think after taxes it might be $6 or $8. But what it does is it allows me to keep all my services. I don't have to disconnect anything, and when I come home, they will turn everything back on for me. I get to keep all my equipment, and um, they just flip a switch and everything is back on, and then I start paying my regular bill again. Helps you save a lot of money when you're traveling, especially even if you just have a basic internet plan, which I do because I don't have cable channels. It saves you about mm, anywhere from $60 to $80 a month. So I definitely recommend doing that. Also, I recommend having a backup phone. I have two phones. I have one phone that I call my street phone, which is the phone that I get activated in every country that I visit. And then I have my regular American phone. Now, my street phone is basically the last phone I had before I upgraded. So I always recommend keep your old phone. If you're in the middle um, of upgrading, you're about to upgrade, don't just toss the phone away or anything like that. Keep it because you can get the phone unlocked. Your provider will have to unlock the phone, and then when you get to these countries, you can purchase a SIM card. Most of the time, the SIM card is ridiculously cheap. And you can get it activated for 30 days. I think the most I've ever paid for a SIM card might have been $10, if that. A lot of times it's cheaper depending on the country you're in and the conversion rate from US dollars to whatever their currency is. But you get that activated, and then you don't have to worry about, roaming fees or, always having to find the Wi Fi and things like that. You're good to go. I typically don't start exploring the country until I get my phone activated, because it allows me to call Ubers and use Google Maps, which is another thing, Google Maps. So Google Maps has an offline function. I recommend downloading the offline map. So if ever, you are in between SIM cards, you haven't quite gotten it activated, you're in a place where your service is just not great, even if you do have an international plan with your carrier, but your service is just crap. Um, I recommend downloading the offline version of Google Maps. Most of the time, once you book your airline ticket, Google Maps will give you an alert and ask you in advance if you want to download the map in that area. And if it doesn't, you can just go in your Google Maps and select the map. You can tell them where it's going to be, where you're going to be, I'm sorry, and they will pull up like a certain mile radius of that city or that you're staying in, and you can download that. That'll allow you to get directions and navigate even when you don't have Wi-Fi or a mobile connection, so you can you know, not get lost, because maybe you just need to go to the market or something slight. Also, back to the SIM card, I don't recommend purchasing the SIM cards at the airport. The airport wants a ridiculous amount of money for these SIM cards, and it's just like robbery. I recommend finding a store, whether it's a cell phone store or a little local bodega, um, in the area that you are staying to purchase these SIM cards and get them activated. It's going to be much, much cheaper. I found that they are normally like by places that locals frequent, like so nail salons or barbershops, places that have those types of businesses in it. You can usually find a cell phone stand to get your phone activated. Another thing that I learned later on this journey was an app, well, a platform rather, called Onward. A lot of times countries require an exit ticket in order for you to enter. And that can get costly because that means sometimes you're paying for two tickets at a time. You got to pay your airline fees to get there, and then you have to pay for a whole nother ticket to leave. And you might not be leaving for another 30, 60, or 90 days, but you need both tickets just to get into the country. Well, Onward allows you to make an airline reservation without having to buy a whole ticket. The fee is around $12, $12 to $14. It can be a little bit more depending on how long you need to have proof of the ticket. It's not an actual airline ticket, it is an airline reservation. You get a confirmation number, it's an official booking. You don't, and what it allows you to do is show immigration that you plan to leave the country. And that's really all that they want to see, that you plan to leave the country. So Onward is really, really cool. I do recommend using that if you plan on bouncing around for a little while. I've been in Latin and um, South America for the past 8 months, going on 9 months. So I just found out about that maybe a month or two ago, and it's been really great. I like it a lot. And like I said, it's only like $12. You can't use the confirmation to actually um, board a plane. It is not that type of deal. It's just something that will last long enough for you to show to immigration and get to where you're going without any hassles. Um, what else? Don't walk around with your passport. Just take a picture of your passport, keep it in your phone. Same thing with your vaccination card. Everybody accepts the pictures. Also, you can get a QR code of your vaccination. You just have to go to your um, state or city's website that is housing that. It's different everywhere, and you can download the QR code. Some places will require you showing proof of vaccination in order to enter the country. And then when you get in the country, some establishments, some restaurants, malls, grocery stores will require you to show that you're vaccinated in order for you to enter the building. So that's something to consider. Also, I packed way too many clothes. I have two suitcases. And so I recommend not packing that many clothes because my baggage fees have been outrageous, so crazy. So pack light, travel light, as light as you can, and just pick up things along the way. I do recommend using Uber over the taxis. I typically take a taxi from the airport to my lodging, but then after that, I just use Uber or Lyft. Um, they're just cheaper. It's just cheaper. The taxis, I understand they have to make a living. I get it. But some of them take you the long way around. Some of them just want to overcharge you because you're a tourist. And, some of them are just, they don't even know where they're going. You might get dropped off in the wrong place. So just take a Uber. It's trackable. If anything happens, people, somebody can track you down. They can see that this is the last place you were in your Uber. I just prefer it. I also recommend downloading some version of a currency converter app so you can make sure you're not getting ripped off. Um, it's very helpful. And let's see what else. A compass. I am geographically challenged. Me and directions, we don't get along. So even with downloading the offline version of Google Maps, I also downloaded a compass to make sure, I was headed. If it says head north, to make sure I was actually heading north. Um, Things like that, small things like that, can really make a big difference. Additionally, make sure that you set travel notices for all of your bank cards, all of your credit cards. You normally can do that either online through your banking portal, or you can call your bank and they'll do it for you. You know, it's not a problem at all. It's very easy. Some banks even have special credit cards that you can sign up for in advance to avoid the conversion fees altogether. I believe someone told me that Capital One, they don't have any conversion fees. So, what this particular person does that I met, they just pay for everything with their Capital One card to avoid all of the conversion fees, and then um, they just pay their credit card bill off, which is recommended anyway if you're trying to build your credit. Um, Another thing that I would recommend is to sign up for like a tour of just the area that you're staying in. It's helpful, and you can find like an Airbnb tour. It's helpful to help you kind of, you know, get used to the area. Find out where things are. Discover places that you might not have checked out on your own, or even how to use certain things like the metro. Um, it's just and where the supermarkets are, where the best deals are. These tours can be really, really helpful for helping you transition into this city. I do have more tips, but I'm going to keep this one short. I'm going to do my best to post at least once a week to this channel. I do have lots of footage of activities. Just this weekend alone, I went on a neighborhood tour, a food tasting tour, and I did an alcohol tasting tour of the local alcohol that's famous here. Pisco is what it's called. So I will post all of those things, all of the things that I've been doing, all of the things that I've learned around along the way. Like I said, my goal is to be a better resource. So until next time, everybody, happy and safe travels.